Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to start a new series with you guys. I've seen it requested a lot on a lot of the comments. A lot of the viewers are asking for character reviews. Review Silk, review Loki, review fucking My Foot Tier 2. Today we're going to start this series off. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this for every character or even for the most popular ones, but I do have a character that I do really want to talk about with you guys today for a specific reason. So that's why we are going to start with this character in question. The idea just sparked in my head recently, and I've been itching to get it off my chest and onto the airwaves for you dorks and dorkettes to listen to. So here we go. We are going to be looking at She-Hulk. She did not skip leg day, okay? Look at those gams. She's a bad mama jamma, alright? So, I'll show you guys my She-Hulk. I'll take you through everything step by step. I will hold your hand, I will kiss you on the forehead, and I will tuck you in good night. So, I got all the gears at 17, as you guys can see. I got the physical attack or the all attack because she is a physical damage dealer. All defense, HP, skill cooldown. Very straightforward, guys. Nothing too surprising. I do have one of the old recovery rate obelisk special gears, fifth gears, whatever the fuck. 96%. Do the math, boys. Get out your calculators. Skills at 3. Nothing too spectacular here. I am also Groot. I would argue that this is the best ISO set in the game, but there might be better ones. In what you'll see in the clips to come, She-Hulk is a very squishy character, so the extra heals are really, really important, I think, at least. So that's why I have that set on her. I hope I have the volume up. Yes, I do. Excellent. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. We're going to go through some game modes. I'm just going to show you guys how I play the character and why she's useful. She's not available here on any of these recommended lists. That sucks. So I can't really show her on Villain Siege because I want to get the full rewards. So we'll go right into World Boss, Corvus. Here we go. So, yes, guys, as you may already know, She-Hulk is most valued for her leadership. The 48% damage against all male types. Corvus, while looking like a decrepit old fuck, is actually a male character, so her bonus applies. For anybody wondering about Alliance Battle, it's kind of unclear right now whether it applies. Some people believe that it applies to all of the minions or all of the kind of grunt characters, but not necessarily to the Frost Beast. We haven't had a clear screenshot of his testicles and or, junk, so we are not quite sure if he's male, female, or, asexual. We're going to go with Shirag. Actually, we're going to go with Moon Knight, because I would also like to show you guys Moon Knight. He's really, really badass. But just to highlight the kind of damage you can crank out with her leadership is really important here. But I'll try to play most of the level with her so you guys can take a look. I will use a scumbag Black Order striker because I really don't give a fuck. And let's get it going, guys. So you guys are going to see from She-Hulk's kit that it's pretty mundane. Her skills look cool, but practically speaking, they're not very good. She doesn't have much movement. She actually roots herself a lot with a lot of her attacks, kind of like Groot. So it makes her very difficult to position properly and to get her attacks off without getting punished. And that's a big thing. If a character has very short animations, then they can get in and out quickly, kind of like a boxer, without getting hit and punished too much. But unfortunately, see, her 3-star skill roots her, her 5-star skill roots her. All of her skills basically root her, or make her have this kind of very linear tracking to her attacks. Only her 6-star skill has any movement. It also has a short iframe, but the very worst part about that is that her iframe is so difficult to time because it's midway through the animation here. So you can see no iframe and then that iframe. So it's really, really hard, even for veteran players, guys, to really time that. So as you guys can see, she's already about to die. I unfortunately have not gotten I Am Also Groot to proc yet. So she might be, yeah, she just kissed it goodbye. That's in the first stage, guys. Obviously, I could have played She-Hulk a little bit more carefully. But, and I probably should have to do more of a showcase. But we'll do more game modes. You guys can take a look at it here. And I'll show you guys more after we finish this fight. But those are my thoughts, guys, about her kit. And as you guys can see, it's quite limited. And it's got its limitations, and she's almost entirely used as a workhorse for her leadership, which is the best in the game for damage, but it's actually the reason why I made this video, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So there you guys have it. I cleared the match in 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and that's mostly due not only to the strikers, which gave me the 80% ignore dodge, but also to She-Hulk's massive leadership. Moon Knight is tier 2, so he does do more damage, but still Moon Knight is not considered a heavy DPS character, but I was able to clear that level in less than 50% of the time because She-Hulk's leadership is so boss. Now, before I show you guys any more gameplay, because I kind of suck at playing She-Hulk anyways, I do want to get into the meat of why I think this character is interesting to me and why she's actually become worse over time instead of better, which is not something that happens to characters, especially when they haven't been touched. So nothing has changed with She-Hulk's character. She hasn't had any of her skills, animations changed. She hasn't had her tier 2 passive introduced, any new uniforms, nothing. But it's the specificity, that's a fucking hard word to say. It's the specificity of her leadership that has changed her character over time with the introduction of additional top tier female characters. So when She-Hulk was introduced, the game was dominated by Loki without uniform, you know, Hulkbuster, all these male characters. There were not as many female characters as there are in the game now. So it really was a different ball game, especially for things like timeline battle, where the leadership comes into play. It was huge because having a team with She-Hulk as a leader, I remember, was a scary thought with that 48% looming over your head. It's even bigger than Ronan's 36. But nowadays, like, look at all the top tier characters: Proxima, Sister Grimm, Silk, Elsa, sister or female Loki, Lady Loki, Angela with the uniform, of course Sharog, okay, Black Widow. I mean, there's so many top tier female characters. Of course, also Supergiant and Sin. She's top tier, right, guys? So there's so many top tier characters that it's actually very difficult to find the use anymore for She-Hulk's leadership, which in my mind, I would say has really devalued her as a character, and, you know, made someone like Star-Lord all the more impressive because his doesn't have that kind of qualifier or that kind of change. So I'm going to show you guys timeline battle real quick because I want to show you the difference. Now keep in mind, I have two teams exactly the same, except one team has She-Hulk's 48% against male types, and the other team, the other team has Elsa's flat 30% physical damage. So I want you guys to count once I get up to 79 on the score. I want you guys to count how many teams are actually going to be affected by She-Hulk's leadership, and how many teams are not. And you guys will quickly see, okay, this team is one of the only that I'm going to find with 2 male characters on it. Next one, 2 female characters. Next one, okay, but I'm not going to fuck with that team anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Next one, 1 female character. Next one, 1 female character. All right, we're getting unlucky here. Here we go, 2 female characters again. 2 female characters again. All right, I mean, Malekith has long hair. He's basically female. But as you guys can see, there's a lot more female characters at the top. Of course, Sharog is front and center, but there we go, Proxima and Silk. There we go, Sharog again. Proxima again. The same team again. There's not that many team diversity at this high level, but as you guys can see, it's much less consistent to find a team that you can punish with this setup. It's much less consistent now than it was, you know, a few months ago. And I think that's really important for the character because that was kind of the key to her character. When that character was released, when She-Hulk was released, everyone was gawking at her leadership because it's fucking huge. But the more powerful female characters that you introduce into the game, the more difficult it becomes to take advantage of that leadership. And as you can see, guys, she died almost instantaneously to tier 2 Malekith, and there's literally nothing that I could do. She has no iframes. She has no way to heal other than the ISO set, which I can't control when that procs. So what am I going to do? Take the game off auto and start running around like an idiot, like a chicken without a head? No, I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm not a chicken. Also, I have a head. So, you know, barnyard animals aside, there's nothing I can do. So in this case, I have to rely on Ant-Man, and it basically just makes her solely there for her leadership. So as you guys can see, you know, when people tell you to get She-Hulk, there's obviously a reason behind that, and it's solely for the leadership. But what I found and what really triggered my interest in making this video for you guys is that her leadership is dwindling as time goes on. So here we guys, we're going to go through this really quickly. I'm going to show you guys very quickly 2 clips so that we can kind of compare numbers, if it's possible at all to compare the numbers. Let's try it with Proxima actually. And who are we going to get as a third? Shirag. Doesn't really matter who. We're going to see if her leadership really affects the level. So we're going to quit out as soon as we hit the mobs the first time, because we just want to gauge that first attack DPS and see if it's making a noticeable difference. So let's count the DPS here, guys. We're going to go to Proxima, and we're just going to do this attack right here. So that was anywhere from 99 to 15,000. Oh, I couldn't see. Yeah, 12,000, 15,000. One more time. 15, 12, 11. The range is pretty wide, but on a crit, it looks like closer to 15. And on a non-crit, it's closer to between 10 and 12. Yeah, it looks like it to me. That's a different attack. But anyways, you guys can see. Okay, let's try with the basic attack, actually. That's probably a good idea. 40, 45. Anywhere from like 38 to 55, it looks like. Maybe 60. 6,000 on a big crit. But, yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's quit out of this and then see what we get next. Hey guys, and we're back. So we saw the numbers there with She-Hulk as the leader. Now let's go with a team that does not have She-Hulk as the leader. Let's just go with Singularity for that 30% energy attack. And we will see if the numbers are the same, if they're lower, if they're higher. So if they're higher, it means that her leadership has no effect on these mobs. If it's the same or it's close to the same, then her leadership probably works. And then if it's much, much lower, then her leadership also works. So let's have a look here. So basic attack, 7,000. Whoa, what the fuck? 7,000, 5,000, 7,000. It seems like it's higher, guys. Yeah, I saw some 3s before, but I'm not getting any 3s now. What about this one? 19,000. Really? Oh, I can't. Why do I keep attacking from that way? I can't see. 8,000. I'm not seeing any 4s or 3s. 15. That was 15 on a non-crit, by the way. It's really hard to find a viewing angle for these attacks. They need to introduce preview skill with damage. 16, 18. So it looks like her leadership has no effect, actually, because these mobs are taking way more damage. I just saw a 45, 49. It's hard to say, but it seems like they don't. If I had to guess, guys, I would say that it does not. So that's interesting, guys. That's really interesting. It seems like there is no effect in Alliance Battle, which just devalues the character even more. This is Meteor Day, so I don't know, maybe they've coded the mobs differently on Meteor Day and on Frost Beast Day. That would really suck for testing purposes, because this is not information that Netmarble ever releases anyways. But hopefully someone will have more information on that and they can fill us in the comments. But that's gonna just about do it for my review of She-Hulk, guys. To recap, I think that the character has a very interesting design. I think that the leadership is interesting, and once upon a time it was probably the best leadership in the game. But I think with the changing meta and the introduction of way more strong female characters, you know, we're getting Gwenpool, excuse me, not Glenpool. We're getting Gwenpool very soon, another strong, hopefully strong female character. With all these changes, it's made her leadership, She-Hulk's leadership, even more useless. And on top of that, the character just cannot really fend for herself as a solo fighter, because she has no iframes, basically. She has no way to heal. She has no way to guard against attacks or even move out of the way with mobility skills. Yes, her attacks do a lot of damage, and her attacks have lots of multi-hits. So if you want to build her as a crit character, as a crit rate or a crit damage character, you could find a lot of success with that. And I'm sure there are some whales out there in the big blue ocean, you know, baby belugas, who have found success doing that. But for the average player, I think it's way out of their reach, and it's not something reasonable that can be expected or even you know, attainable. So I would probably rate She-Hulk overall as probably like a C, maybe a C+ character. Her bios are unfarmable. She can't be gotten from a lot of the bio selectors because they don't include A-Force characters. So she's a really expensive character to invest in. You almost have to use a rank up ticket, like a mega ticket or something like that. So I don't think it's worth it for the leadership. And it's a leadership that like the inverse basically of her leadership is someone like Star-Lord. His leadership is only going to get better with time, because Netmarble has to release more blast characters. Look at Shirag. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Star-Lord bios or a larger number of uses of Mega Rank Up tickets on Star-Lord effective and a better killing machine. And all those Thanos kills that you guys are seeing with Shirag have him usually as the leader. So, the inverse of that, unfortunately, is our good friend She-Hulk, who is getting worse by the minute with all of these introductions of female characters. So maybe Netmarble will take a look at her leadership and kind of tweak it a bit. I'm not really sure. I kind of like it the way it is on the one hand, but then on the other hand, I wish She-Hulk was stronger, because she's such a cool character. Netmarble fucked up really bad on Hulk, and that's not something they're going to take back. This is what I thought of for the first time, guys. And of course, the first time is always the most nervous, if you know what I mean. So guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.